So the gods of Smite, some of them have come under some hard times, and, well, pretty tragic things have happened, from one or two incidents in their past to the entirety of the past themselves. Today we're going to be going over some of the most tragic ones and find out who in Smite has the most tragic backstory. So, if that interests you, then you're in the right place, and feel free to enjoy. So we're going to start off with Chinese mythology, and first up on the list are Chang'e and Hou Yi. To briefly summarize Hou Yi's story, the sons of the Jade Emperors decided to turn themselves into actual suns, and these 9 suns rained down literal hell upon the earth. Mothers and sons, fathers were being scorched all across the earth, and so Hou Yi was employed to kind of put a stop to this madness, and put a stop to the madness he did, but not in the way that the Jade Emperor expected. Upon seeing the devastation on the earth, Hou Yi shot down most of the suns, but left only one. This sun is the sun that we see in the sky every day, but the Jade Emperor did not forgive the killing of his sons. So whilst the people heralded Hou Yi as this hero, the savior of Earth, the Jade Emperor saw him as a criminal, a butcherer of children, and stripped him of all his godly titles and his immortality and banished to the earth from heaven. Unfortunately for Chang'e, she was married to Hou Yi, and was also banished with him to the earth, and also stripped of her immortality. Chang'e wept day in and day out as a mortal, and Hou Yi just couldn't bear to see this sight. So, upon hearing word of the Queen Mother, who had the ability to grant an elixir of immortality to people, he set out on a very perilous journey, and survived a lot of trials, horrors and terrors, things of that nature. When he reached the Queen Mother, she felt pity for Hou Yi and sympathized with his story, so gave him one of these elixirs, as well as a warning. And this warning was that only one person should drink half of the elixir. If any one person should drink the entire elixir, then they will ascend to the heavens as a fully fledged immortal, whereas half of the elixir will only grant half immortality. Pretty sweet deal if I do say so myself. So, upon returning home to Chang'e, Hou Yi was pretty tired, which as you would be after the things he went through, and decided to take a bit of a rest, a nap. Meanwhile, Fengman broke into the house of Chang'e and Hou Yi, and attempted to steal the elixir. Chang'e tried to face him off as best as she could, but ultimately ended up having to drink the entire potion in order to stop Fengman from getting his hands on it. As Hou Yi awoke, he saw his wife ascending to the heavens, or so they both thought. Instead of going back to heavens, because she was banished from the heavens, she instead stayed on the moon, eternally separated from her love. Pretty sad story, right? So the only other story in Chinese mythology of the gods that are currently in the game who I think can kind of match this story, Zhonghui, was a terribly ugly and disfigured mortal on Earth. Despite his foul appearance though, Zhonghui was really smart and took the imperial examination, which he received the top scores on. This would have allowed him to pretty much have any role in society that he would have wanted, from a physician to an imperial bureaucrat. Zhonghui happily anticipated his first day of work. The emperor of the time turned him away because he was just too ugly, and quite frankly, the emperor just shouldn't have to look at that face every single day. Zhonghui wasn't happy about being turned away and thrown out of the palace, so he banged his head against a palace until eventually he died because his head literally caved in from all of the banging. This was considered suicide, and at the time, in that society, suicide was a bit of a no-no. So Zhonghui was sent to hell, and the king of hell, if it was any other person, he would have punished him justly, but in Zhonghui, because of his talents and what he displayed during the examination, decided that he could use Zhonghui to quell demons, and that's exactly what he did. So Zhonghui became a demon slayer of sorts, and the king of hell got a free hunter. Forever, because Zhonghui was made immortal, because he had already died. So, yeah, not the best deal in the world. I genuinely can't decide which one is actually more sad. I mean, who's getting the worst deal? Chang'e, Hou Yi, or Zhonghui in that situation? I really don't know, but moving on, next up we have Celtic mythology. This one, the only god here who I have, isn't really necessarily like their entire backstory is tragic, it's just really one event, and that's Cuchulainn. A new challenger arrived at the stores of Ulster, and Cuchulainn wanted to face this person in battle because he was killing a lot of Ulster's soldiers. So when he met this challenger, he was pretty evenly matched with Cuchulainn, which was surprising at the time because there was no equal to Cuchulainn as far as battle was concerned. And Cuchulainn eventually got frustrated and took out his special Gable spear, which was a very special spear which relatively OP, can split itself up inside of an opponent to cause a ton of internal damage. You wouldn't want that thing inside you. And he uses the spear to kill this new challenger. When the challenger reveals his identity, Cuchulainn falls to his knees in tears because Cuchulainn spies a ring on this challenger's finger, and it was the ring that he gave to the mother of his first children. Not sure if it beats out Chinese mythology yet, but I still felt like mentioning it. Moving on, we now have Greek mythology, and well, if you're familiar with the exploits of Athena, I think you'll know where I'm going with this. So first up, I think we'll get the most obvious one out of the way. Golden hair and a face so beautiful that even the gods themselves awed in its presence. One of them got too close to it and even married the woman, who was having the time of her life, until one day, her luscious golden locks became seething snakes, her eyes dreadful glowing beacons of despair, and her treasured face withered. The girl had sworn vows of celibacy, and was one of the many priests of Athena, who was none too pleased about her abandonment of her duties. Medusa isolated herself from civilization, and lived alone until Perseus decided to pay her a little visit. Pretty sad backstory, if I do say so myself. I mean, yes, she kind of ignored some vows, or outright forgot them, and slept with Poseidon, which wasn't the smartest move, but Athena could have been a bit less cruel. I mean, it is what it is, and Athena didn't stop there either. Well, there are three versions as to how Athena turned her into a spider. One is much more merciful. One makes Arachne look like a complete and utter fool, and the third one, which is the one I'll tell you, is the most tragic in my opinion. So, Arachne was a normal human girl who loved to weave things, and her spindles brought her great joy. Tales of Arachne's great skills reached even the heavens, and Athena grew very jealous of Arachne's talents, so she appeared before her and challenged Arachne, saying that there was no way a mere mortal could weave better than a god. So, the two weaved and Arachne won, which made Athena very mad. She was so upset that she revealed that the whole challenge was a ruse, and that Arachne had committed hubris, which at the time was a very serious crime. And in a fit of sick irony, decided to turn Arachne into a spider and grant her immortality, so that she could weave forever, and also so that she could suffer for her crimes. Arachne versus Medusa. I suppose Arachne has the more tragic backstory because Arachne really didn't deserve to be turned into a spider and was tricked into it, whereas Medusa outright just forgot about a bunch of vows that she took, so it's more understandable. Still crazy, but more understandable. But what do you guys think so far? There will be a part 2 to this video, but for part 1 so far, which gods do you think have the more sadder backstories? I'm interested to know what you think in the comment section below, but thank you for watching this far. If you enjoyed the video, go ahead and leave a like. And until the next one, have a very good day. I've been Prime, and I'll see you in a few. Bye bye.